Wrdw.com. Click, click.
Trust Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale for your first alert. You're watching News 12 Live at 5 continues.
Live at 5, friends, family, and the Silver Bluff community are remembering the life of 18-year-old Emily Heath. The Aiken County Coroner's Office says that she died yesterday morning when her vehicle left the road and hit a tree on Green Pond Road. Tonight, she is being remembered as a strong, dedicated woman with dreams of becoming a nurse. Our Sydney Hood is live with us in the newsroom. And Sydney, tell us more about Emily and the legacy that she's leaving behind.
Emily was the type of girl you wanted to be friends with. She was kind, loving, and extremely smart. She had the smile that lit up every room she walked in. Every single picture you see of her, she is smiling. And for only 18 years of life, she was way ahead of her time. She had just about every detail of her future planned: who she was going to marry, what kind of job she was going to have. You name it, Emily already had it planned. Those closest to her call her bold. She loved bold colors and had an extremely bold personality. And all new tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we'll show you just how much Emily meant to those she knew.
A tragic situation there. Thank you for sharing that with us, Sydney. Of course, we look forward to that update in the next half hour. Switching gears to weather now as we take a look our way this weekend in just a bit. Breaking news, live at 5, authorities want you to keep an eye out for this missing teenager. 14-year-old Marshall Hanna III was last seen on Monday, the 8th, in Rennes. He is said to be in the Augusta area and might have been spotted on Saturday. If you know where he is, call the Rennes Police Department. Well, 2 life sentences are handed down to killers this week in 2 separate cases. Augusta District Attorney Jared Williams says Ronald Harris murdered Scotland DeVore back in March of 2020. Just as his case was set for trial on Monday, Harris pled guilty to several charges, including malice murder, and was sentenced to life. And last night, a Richmond County jury returned a guilty verdict for Jamarius Walker for the murder of Antonio Jeter. Jeter was shot back in April of 2020, and Walker was later tied to gang activity, which added additional charges on top of murder. Walker was found guilty on all charges. 3 white men convicted of hate crimes for chasing and killing Ahmaud Arbery in Georgia. This happened in the Brunswick area back in 2020 when the 25-year-old was chased by a pickup truck and shot while running in a neighborhood. His killing sparked national outrage when cell phone video of the shooting made its way onto the internet. Greg and Travis McMichael and their neighbor William Bryant are now asking a federal court to throw out hate crime charges. They argue that they pursued and shot Arbery because they thought that he was a criminal, not because of his race. Both McMichaels are serving life sentences, while Bryan was sentenced to 35 years. Their appeals will be heard in March. Arbery's family has ties to our area, and he is buried near Waynesboro. Happening now, the Columbia County School District is holding a job fair through 7 this evening. This is for areas in special education, including teachers and paraprofessionals. On-site interviews are being conducted. It's all happening at the Support Department Complex on Riverwatch Parkway in Evans. Malcolm Mitchell, NFL Super Bowl winner, UGA football player, and reading advocate. Our State House reporter Advocasaurus reports he's being honored today for his work increasing literacy across our state.
Let me introduce to y'all Malcolm Mitchell.
A standing ovation from state lawmakers. It's something Malcolm Mitchell says he never expected.
To be here today and be recognized for reading, something that I did not always understand the value of, but I've learned to love, to cherish.
Mitchell says he struggled reading while in school in Valdosta, Georgia.
I watched my mother fight and claw for resources to make sure that she could provide for her children. And I see reading as an opportunity to grant people information.
By 4th grade, a third of Georgia students are considered proficient in reading. Students who can't read by 4th grade are 4 times more likely to drop out of high school.
They have an increased likelihood of interacting with the criminal justice system. That means they're more likely to need government assistance programs. And that means they have a decrease in their life expectancy.
Mitchell started the Share the Magic Foundation, traveling across the state, passing out more than 150,000 books to students.
If reading is the bridge that will lead them in that direction, well, that's what I'm going to promote.
Mitchell now serves on the state's Literacy Council, authoring 2 children's books, now named Children's Author of the Year. In Atlanta, I'm Abby Kasoris.
Thanks, Abby. This Saturday, in honor of School Choice Week, there will be a School Choice Expo for parents and the little ones from 10 to 2. There will be resources and panels discussing things like homeschooling, learning disabilities, therapy services, and IEP support, as well as scholarships through K through 12. Now, admissions and access to the panels is just $5, and for around $10, there is a STEM and Dinosaur Kids Zone. This will be at the Kroc Center in Augusta, and there will also be food trucks on site. Well, just ahead, you can race through Scandinavia, Finland, and more without ever leaving the state. We'll explain how coming up next. Riley?
And it's going to be another foggy night potentially across the CS area, along with a chance for rain over the next couple of days. We'll have that full forecast next.
Time.
For days now, the rain has left us to drive on wet road conditions, and AAA says wet pavement contributes to more than 1 million crashes each year. As you make your daily commutes, there's a few things that AAA says that you can do to stay safe. The first is to avoid cruise control. The odds of losing control of a vehicle can increase as you use it. You can also slow down and leave more room between vehicles. Slowing down also reduces your risk of hydroplaning, which can happen with as little as 1/12 of water on the roadway. Now, if your vehicle starts skidding, avoid slamming on the brakes because it can make your car harder to control then. And Riley, there's plenty more rain in our forecast for us, so some very useful tips there.
Absolutely. Well, definitely stay safe on the roadways. Back down close to freezing and highs in the 50s.
Thanks, Riley. This weekend, you can run a race through Denmark, Norway, Sweden, and Finland, and you don't even have to cross the ocean to do it. Will Volk explains how.
It's always been a very interesting talking point.
When Bragg Williams tells people he's from Norway, they get confused.
You get this awfully strange look, and they say, well, you don't sound Norwegian. And they say, no, it's Norway, South Carolina.
Norway's neighboring communities are named after Scandinavian countries, too. There's Finland, Sweden, and Denmark. Denmark was here first, named after a railroad official. As they continued building the railroad, they thought, let's keep this theme going and name other stops after Scandinavian countries. So now it's rural South Carolina, but it's also Little Scandinavia.
We're really excited to welcome people to our little part of Scandinavia right here in South Carolina.
Laura Broussard is organizing the first ever Scandinavian relay race. It's about a 30-mile course through the area.
Part of, we think, the draw for this is for people to be able to come and say, hey, I ran through Sweden this weekend. And so people will be like, what are you talking about? And we'll say, well, it's Sweden, South Carolina.
She says all the money raised will go to help local nonprofit Three Crosses Outreach. Broussard thinks it'll be a great way to help the community while also introducing people to it.
We really want to bring awareness to this community. It's a great community.
In Little Scandinavia, Will Volt on your side.
And that race happens Saturday morning. We have a link for more information on our website, wrdw.com.
A new iPhone feature helps protect your phone from being stolen and everything on it. I'm Jamie Tucker. Coming up, if you have an iPhone, grab it. I'll explain and show you how to turn it on.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Automotive Group.
Baby.com. Click, click.
We store a lot of personal information on our phones, from credit cards to passwords and much more. That's why Apple has a feature to protect your phone and everything in it if it's stolen. Our consumer tech reporter Jamie Tucker explains how to turn it on.
What the Tech, sponsored by Augusta Preparatory Day School.
There are multiple reported incidents where a thief looks over someone's shoulder, steals their passcode, then steals the phone, changes that passcode, turns off Find My, virtually locking the original owner of the iPhone out. This new update makes that a lot harder for a bad guy to do.
iOS 17.3 includes stolen device protection. With it turned on, a thief cannot lock you out even if they have your passcode. Changing the passcode, adding another Face ID, or changing the Apple ID password requires a second Face or Touch ID if the phone is in an unfamiliar location. If they try to change the password or passcode, they'll have to wait an hour and then enter the stored Face ID a second time. That 1 hour delay gives you time to locate the stolen phone using another Apple device. It also requires face or touch ID to use or even see credit cards or stored passwords. It's a critically important update for when you're in a large crowd like a concert, a ball game, or a bar. So take your phone and look for a red 1 on the Settings app, or you can open Settings. You'll be prompted to download the update. Once it's installed, open Face ID and Passcode in Settings, scroll down to Stolen Device Protection, and turn it on. Since it also includes other security updates, go ahead and install it. iOS 17.3. It's been in beta for some time and should be stable and safe.
iOS 17.3 is available for iPhone XS all the way up to iPhone 15. That's What the Tech. I'm Jamie Tucker.
A group of Georgia dentists are packing up for a trip to Belize this weekend, but it's not a vacation. They're part of a nonprofit called Project Smile Inc., and they're headed to Belize to help hundreds of children receive dental care for free. They will spend 3.5 days there, seeing about 100 kids ages 4 to 14 every day. Project Smile's president says it's a great feeling helping to change lives.
The next day, the children will come back and the parent might bring us a homemade key lime pie, or they might bring us a wood carving they made, or a classroom will bring us thank you notes they all colored in and wrote.
The nonprofit has been doing this for more than 30 years now, and they say they're now seeing the children of the original patients they've helped and even some grandchildren there. Well, the Greenbrier girls wrestling team is on their way to the state team dual championships. This afternoon, the high school held a send-off for that team. News 12 sports director Dan Booth joins us live as he was there to capture all of the excitement. Dan.
Girls wrestling is one of the fastest growing sports in America, and today the Wolfpack got the chance to share that love for that sport with the rest of their school. Greenbrier's girls wrestling team is the #1 ranked team in the Peach State and the #6 team all around the Southeast region. Students and faculty lined the main hallway to celebrate their region champions with hopes of them earning the title of state champions by the end of the weekend. Sharing this experience with their classmates is a moment years in the making.
It's just so exciting. It makes the whole experience worth it, to just know that it's for a purpose and that we have a big student body supporting us in our journey, and it just feels really good.
Finally, we're going to get the recognition that we've been fighting for all these years, and I just hope that everyone is as happy as we are for the experience and the opportunity.
The Wolfpack will be hitting the map for the GHSA Girls Wrestling State Dual Championships tomorrow at the University of West Georgia. Now, we have a lot of breaking news coming out of the NFL. Within the last hour, it's being reported the Falcons are hiring Rams defensive coordinator Raheem Morris to be their next head coach. Morris is no stranger to the NFC South or the Falcons in particular. He spent 6 years with the Dirty Birds in various different roles, from defensive coordinator to wide receivers coach, and even served as interim head coach when Arthur Blank decided to move on from Dan Quinn. The Falcons interviewed Bill Belichick, Jim Harbaugh, Mike Vrabel, and a bunch of other candidates, but Raheem Morris is their guy. The Panthers have also found their new head coach. Carolina is hiring former Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive coordinator Dave Canales. People in all circles around the league have been impressed by Canales' ability to get the most out of the Bucs offense and help Baker Mayfield take his game to the next level and perform well in the playoffs. I'll have the latest on all of these major coaching changes tonight at 11. That's it for sports. We'll be right back after this quick break.
The start of something new sales event is here. Before they're gone, Milton Rubin Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
RideBaby.com. Click, click.
Start something new sales event at Waynesboro Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Rates as low as 2.9%.
New Ram 1500 Bighorns, 2.9% for 72 months.
If you can't come to us, we'll drive it to you.
Good to go Waynesboro.com.
Bring in the need when you need it. Schedule online at metsplumbing.com and welcome us to Augusta as we continue delivering top-notch solutions with exceptional customer service.
Beat the deadline now through the end of the month.
Start something new sales event at Waynesboro Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Get instant credit approval.
3.9% on Jeep Grand Cherokees.
Good to go, Waynesboro.com.
The start of something new sales event is here.
Get a new 24 Jeep Grand Cherokee before they're gone. Milton Ruben Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Wrdw.com. Click, click.
A group of unsuspecting students getting quite the surprise. They're all in a Georgia State University class that studies the politics of the Olympics. Now, yesterday, their professor held a drawing telling them that just one lucky student would win tickets to see the Paris Olympics this summer. But thanks to some help from Delta Airlines, I think they're happy there, but every single student in the class was surprised with a plane ticket to see what they've been studying in real life. They even got berets to wear alongside the great news. Students saying they had no idea this was going to happen when they signed up for the class. The Paris Olympics kick off on July 26th. That's just 6 months from tomorrow. A great surprise there for a lot of those hard-working students. That's awesome. Free plane tickets. That's most of the cost there, Riley.
Yeah, and I mean, you talk about very expensive airfare going to Paris right when the Olympics are happening. So, yeah, that is a pricey plane ticket, though. So, enjoy. It's going to be a great time out there. Hopefully, the weather cooperates. Our weather's cooperating up at the lake at the moment. You can see cloudy skies, calm conditions. Temperatures are very warm. Right now, we're still in the mid-70s, and we're going to continue the 70s at least the next couple of hours. Don't expect a big temperature drop tonight. Likely going to see lows back into the 60s for most of the overnight. We do have some rain kind of working its way into Lincoln County, crossing over to McCormick County next, so just north of the dam shot, and then south of I-20 into getting into Jefferson, Warren, and McDuffie County out there. So there is rain around if you're stepping out this evening. Temperatures are going to stay warm tomorrow. We'll have that continued opportunity for some showers, possibly a storm.
All right, thanks, Riley. Stick with us. We have more news, weather, and sports coming up after a short break on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Introducing